Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on 790 The Bet. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency and Wally Hatchett's Comfort Food and Drinks at 6439 Summer Avenue.
All right, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry. I think that was Sam, Dos Tres. What was that? Willie Bully. I know Willie Bully was coming in.
Sam and the Shams?
Yeah.
He lives over in Midtown.
I love that.
He lives right behind
Willie Bully.
Sonic Burgers on Summer.
Oh, well, maybe we can get him on the show. I really want to get the guy with Mighty Bite on the show. That's my goal before we get down here. Mancini is his last name, but he sold 15 years of selling Mighty Bites. I want that on the show. Okay.
What is Mighty Bites?
It's a fishing lure. It's on TV.
Oh, okay.
It's always on there.
I remember now.
Yeah, he's always on there. Well, speaking of always on there, he's on the job most of the time, but we're glad to have Andy Tweed, as he said, 29 years, TWRA, based right here in Shelby County. And, Andy, we talked a little bit about what's new for 2022, 2023. Let's go over them a little bit because check them off there. We're not going to go into all 12 of them, but I think there's some in there that we definitely need to bring out. Go, Andy.
Absolutely. Well, we're trying to do a little price saving for everybody, a little incentive for folks to shoot a few more does.
Yeah.
All right. So we've gotten rid of the Type 94 license on private property.
Yes.
Now, but if you hunt on the WMAs, you got to have it. So
it's gone and not gone.
It's gone but not gone.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. I like
smoke
that.
and mirrors.
Okay.
Hidden innuendos.
Okay. I got you.
Anyway.
All right. Then turkey hunting.
Okay. We want a big change to turkey hunting. All
yes.
right. We have gone to 2 birds statewide.
Okay.
And we've bumped the season up until it does not open until April 15th.
Okay.
But if you pay your taxes early, no.
No. It opens on, that's kind of ironic. It opens on tax day.
It opens on tax day.
Okay.
There you go.
Right.
So we've bumped it back 2 weeks, and everybody's going to go, why'd we do that?
Only one Jake.
Yep, and we've also gone to one Jake.
One Jake.
But what we're trying to do is to ensure that a lot of hens are already bred, and they're already kind of out of circulation and doing their deal. And we're also doing a lot of banding on our WMAs.
Okay.
Banding a lot of the male birds, and we're trying to get a hunter mortality census out of this.
Okay.
But I can tell you, out of South Dakota did the same research project.
Yeah.
And the mortality was around 85 or 90% humans.
Come on.
Killing the birds, yes.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. Wow.
Don't hold that number to me, but it was extremely. It
was high.
Very high.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Very high. And I know in this pushing the season back, it's fine with me. I
think it's fine.
Let's give them a rest and let's.
If you're a good, serious turkey hunter, you're very passionate about your sport, and you want to be able to go harvest birds, but you want them to be in good health too.
Well, you can go to Mississippi, and they started in around January 1st. It seems like they start early March, and
I was going to say mid-March.
And they go on forever.
Mm-hmm.
Which I've always said they need to have a north zone and a south zone in Mississippi. But again, that's. Turkey bag reduced to 2 birds, only 1 Jake allowed to be harvested during spring season. And then, of course, that date of April the 15th, of course, the young sportsman hunt before that.
Yep,
and
the 1 week before that.
Yeah.
And also, we've had several pretty severe hunting accidents with people fanning for the birds.
And tell them what that means.
Okay, it means you either get one of those fake fans from Avery Outdoors, or you save a big fan from the year before, or a couple of years before.
Right.
And what you do is you get in behind it and crawl along a field.
That's right.
And the dominant gobbler normally says, "Oh no, somebody's encroaching on my girls."
So that's a WMA only.
That's a WMA only. Do it on private property all you want, but the WMAs, we actually had somebody shot on the WMA this year, and that has been of a little bit of concern.
Well, and we said, we mentioned private property. Private property has now become very much of a social media. There's been so much written about And explain, Andy, what you guys can and can't do now.
Yeah, this came out of a court case
in Benton County.
About 6 months ago?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
6, 7
January,
months ago.
February, something like that.
Somewhere in that area, and it came out, and it's basically saying that it is unconstitutional for us to go on private property without the landowner's permission or a warrant.
And that's us, meaning wildlife officers like yourself.
Yes,
right.
And it just pertains to us.
And in other words, you can't check on things without
having one or the other. They either have to have written permission from the landowner,
yes,
or he can text me, or he can email me, one of the above,
yes,
or I get a search warrant if I think something really crazy is going on in there.
But this, to me, hamstrings you guys.
It does, because for years I'll sit out early in the morning and listen for gunshots, and if you have. And if you're listening for duck hunters and you've got one spot and it's just shooting.
That's right.
Yeah, it's time to go in there and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Or you hear a single shot and you're like, well, I don't know if that's this guy's property or this guy's property, or that, a lot of times you've got 3 or 4 properties fairly close together, and you might know 3 of them, but you don't know the 4th one.
Yeah.
But the shot sure sounded like came from this guy that you know. Okay, I'm going to go walk through there and see.
But you can't now.
Nope, can't do it.
You can't go on to that land, that property, private property, without a warrant.
Nope.
And
or
permission.
Or permission.
Or permission.
Yes.
In other words, they can do pretty well what they want to do on their private land.
Seems like it to me.
It's and I know this is it's set a monumental order here. It's not only affecting our state, but this could be the start of other things in other states.
It is, and believe it or not, it's like that in Montana too.
Is it really?
Yes, they can't go on private property without a warrant or permission from that landowner. But then again, you got to remember how much BLM land they've got out there, U.S. Forest Service land, and then national parks.
So I'm assuming you guys have discussed this among yourselves. I mean,
we have,
and the agency has talked about it too. But there's not really much you can do about it right now as we go into this season. And technically, 2 weeks from today, this weekend, we'll have the velvet hunt.
Yep.
Or 3 weeks. Let's see. The last weekend of August is the velvet hunt, and I've got to ask you about the interest in that, Andy. You're out in the field a lot.
There's a lot of interest in it, but everybody they're on the fence because it's so hot, and especially we're having an extremely hot year this year.
And dry.
And everybody's like, I've got really good deer, and if I shoot one, I've got to get him to the processor in about 20 minutes or this thing's going to ruin. And they're right. That is the issue. You need to get that deer, field dress it, and get it to a processor and in the cool as fast as you can.
Hopefully, you can find a processor that's open.
Yeah, there may not be any
some
open.
Of them may not be open. I don't know what my man Dave Payne is doing. Well, we'll try to get Dave on the show that weekend to talk about from his business out in Galloway. But
I suspect that he'll be open.
Yeah, I think he will be too, and he's open right now for folks if you want to get some good sausage and stuff like that. He's out there, of course, and he's been a sponsor of this show. But I know that the velvet hunt, I mean, technically that will start the deer season, which goes for the next 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
With unlimited bag limits here.
Pretty much.
I can remember one day I wrote a story about a guy out of Humboldt, Tennessee, that I think he'd killed 10 bucks at one. I mean, he had unbelievable when we were kind of liberal on certain things.
Yeah, when I first got hired, you could kill 11 bucks.
11 bucks, and he had 10 on his wall from that year. But I look at these things and I say, well, we've got so much getting ready to happen. And in fact, today we've got the big. It's not the drug blind drawing. They've already drawn them, but they're having the celebrations, I guess, you want to call it that, at Big Sandy and all the other WMAs. This is the old days. Dave Gabbert would get up on top of his truck and we'd try to get a signal from him, and he'd be at Big Sandy, and everybody was, lined up and saying who gets what. But the duck blind drawing, we're not going to get into that with Andy, but I will like to know Andy is it's been so hot, it's been so dry. So what are you seeing out there? I mean, as far as I had a friend of mine that he lost all of his sunflowers. The deer ate the sunflower. I've never heard of that before.
Oh, God, they wear them out.
Yeah.
They absolutely wear them out.
Raccoons, too.
And he lost $800 he'd put into it.
Yep.
And they're gone.
Yep.
We have a 6-foot fence around my wife's garden at the Penal Farm. I call it the Penal Farm. It's Shelby Farms out there, and now they've got it enclosed like a compound. Mm-hmm. So are you saying what effect we're going to have with dry weather? I saw a little one the other day. Looked like it was just born 2 days ago. So
yeah, I saw one this morning walking around, and you could tell she was visibly pregnant, so she hadn't even dropped
amazing.
Yet. Yeah. And the problem is the buck to doe ratio has gotten so out of whack.
Yes.
A lot of these does do not get bred until March.
That's
Believe
amazing.
it or not, I'm still seeing deer with antlers. I'm still seeing deer chase
you
does
really?
in March and 1st of April. So that means you're going to see fawns dropped in August, September.
Yeah, well, that's what we're doing. I mean, that's
it is.
What we're
That's
doing.
that's the way it's going to go.
And I don't know where they're finding their water and stuff like that. But
and this is going to lead to another EHD, not CWD, but an EHD breakout.
Yes,
that's going to come. We're already seeing a huge spike in distemper with all our raccoons and possums.
Really?
Yes, very bad right now in Shelby County.
Well, hang on just for a few minutes, Andy. We're going to take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray. He's going to have to get out of here because he's got to go do his job. But we'll take a break right now, come back and close it out with Andy, and then go to Northwest Arkansas, talk cold trout waters with John Barry. We'll be right back.